Hi, my name is Alexandra Vega, and this is my Capstone 2 video presentation. I'm going to answer some questions to the best of my ability, and I'm going to start off with question number 1. Who were you as a leader at the beginning of Applied Major coursework? I would like to start by saying that I have always viewed myself as a leader. Being the first born daughter in an immigrant household, it definitely shaped me to be the leader I am today. I was doing leadership roles that a 7-year-old was probably not supposed to do, but I am very, very grateful for that experience and what I was brought into because that built the leader I am today. And when I first began the organization leadership coursework, I viewed myself as supportive and collaborative leader. I had too much empathy, and I was about being approachable and offering guidance and creating comfortable environments for everyone. And I just wanted to see people succeed. I wanted, just as I was succeeding, I wanted to see people succeed. And that is still things that I follow, but I did recognize that I had room for growth. I needed to be more confident. I needed to be sure of my decision making because I will be double questioning myself before I would be just overthinking the same question over and over and over to the point where my decisions were being made abruptly and being made too fast without, even though I was already thinking about it, I just was thinking about like, okay, this is correct. And I think I was very vulnerable with my empathy and just guiding too much with my heart. And that's something that's great for a leader, but it has to be moderately controlled. And I wasn't sure how to blend my authority with empathy and how to lead with both structure and the flexibility that I had in my community and in my classroom. But that's how I was at the beginning of my applied major coursework. What did I learn as now quite going back to question number 2? Um, what did you learn as you were completing each class? So as I moved through the coursework, I realized that leadership involves far more than simply guiding others. It's about being intentional, adaptable, and reflective. I learned how that my leadership theories and behaviors vary across contexts because I was coming from a business atmosphere before I even touched the classroom. I had to learn that the way that I talk to adults in the business world was sometimes not the way that you talk to students, and I had to change and drift my leadership because I think I was becoming too um, authoritative, and it it was good, but some of these students need a lot more empathy because we have no idea what's going on at home, and sometimes they just come to school as a shelter to protect them from what's going on in their world. But it gave me solid foundation of understanding how to lead in diverse situations, including in the classroom, because I went from working with privileged students to underprivileged students, and it's a big difference. I lead with empathy, and I lead with structure and flexibility, but it is not the same. You have to be able to learn, or I had to learn how to diverse my situation, and that is one thing that I learned that it really stuck with me was learning how to control um my decision making and my flexibility around this the area of that I was working in. As also as a future teacher, now I see the student performance data can help me improve instruction and guide individual students' growth. Because if I can see a slope, like, oh, what happened here? What's going on? A student's doing great, and then that just major drop, it can be a lot. And I think the data making has that I saw and I learned will help me continuously access and adapt my teaching methods to meet students' needs. I learned that professional and ethical decision making are critical for building trust with student colleagues and especially the parents. In the classroom, it is really important for the ethical decision making because, as I mentioned previously, some students just come to school to uh, to have shelter from their outside world, and it can be life changing for students to have that little hi, how are you, sweetie? How are you doing today? Because sometimes this is the first time that a person asks them in a week or in a day, or they're the first person they see, and it's just something that really, really struck me because of being in the business world, it's something you didn't really consider. Just like, hi, how are you? The customer's always right. But in this, working in a classroom really and going through the coursework showed me that ethical decision making is important because it makes a student feel seen and it can help increase their success educationally. I also learned that leadership in a dynamic process requires continuously adaptation, adapting to the situation, adapting to curriculums, to shortage in paper, which I had faced in one of the education charter schools I work for. And the whole process of the coursework helped me be more confident and access the situation, problem solve, and implement solutions with everything. Whether it was we had the computers go down and having to okay, we're gonna keep following the Eureka book and just doing it on hand and having the students follow along in their notebook to just preparing for whenever start test was coming up, and helping with the boot camp, ensuring that students like were getting their skills tutoring met and helping them understand that like I'm here to help you. It's not time to play around. This is serious. This is your start test. Let's focus. Um, and now I'm gonna move on to question number three. Who are you now as a leader? Today, as a leader, I see myself more confident and adaptable and reflective. I am more comfortable balancing the authority and empathy, as I mentioned previously, and I recognize that leadership is about guiding others while also empowering them to take ownership of their own learning. I understand the importance of setting clear expectations, being consistent, and making decisions based on data and reflective. In the classroom, I am here to help, but I'm also not gonna let my students um just ignore what I'm teaching. Sometimes, right now, there's a difficulty in the classroom being able to get everybody's attention because there will be students acting out and disrupting the classroom for other students. And I want to make sure that I don't want to send my students to the principal's office. I want to make sure, like, hey, I'm here to help you. That's what I always start by telling them whenever I have a student that's acting out, and I mentioned to them, I am here to help them. I am here to help them guide to become better adults, better, more successful adults than me. Whether it is that whatever passion they want to do, I am here to help them. And whatever job, money that they want to make, whether they want to be a doctor or whether they just want to have a good life, it starts here. And I always mention to them, it starts in your classroom, doing your work, because this is what's going to help you um, go to college, pursue a career, or just have the common knowledge that can help you build your own business through, or just as now become your own influencer. But these are skills that you still need to learn. You just can't just start recording yourself, as I tell my students. Um, and I now see my leadership as more collaborative process where I am helping not only myself but helping other groups be successful and to have my students receive individual achievements. And I still think I still need to grow. I will admit to that. I still have a lot of more to grow, but I do see a big grasp of growth through the whole coursework that I have been taking. And here we are going to question number four. As a leader, where do you go from here? I firmly believe that as a leader right now, it's about learning more. There's always constant knowledge of becoming better. You will never be the best. You have to keep learning. You have to keep progressing and motivating, not just yourself, but motivating others and just learning from either mistakes or learning from other people. I believe that in this world we have to pass it forward And sometimes, if someone has to pass advice to me to grow, I would gladly take it because I want to try to be my best. And I trans- as I transition to my teaching career, I aim to continue evolving as a leader and focusing on the three key goals, which is building and maintaining strong relationship with my students, which is a main priority for me because it's how I will get their attention. Because I can just be teaching, and the students can just be um, in their minds thinking about other stuff. But what good does that do for them? I want to be able for them to trust me to educate them. I want them to know that this is not all, I'm not here for a paycheck. I am here to help the future generations of the world grow because they are the future. Another thing will be data driven instructions. Like, I plan to continually assess my students' progress and use data to inform um, in my teaching decisions, whether it is like, hey, we have to go back into this topic because majority of my students are not progressing, then we will have to go back. And I would just have to find adapt my curriculum to see each other succeed, because I take that even myself. I know I have to fail to succeed sometimes. But as I continue my leadership journey, I plan to actively seek feedback from my mentors, colleagues, even my students. Whether it is like, hey, miss, I don't like that. You're spending too much time. Like, we already got this. Okay, got it. Or my colleagues mentioning, like, hey, instead of doing this, do this. And I like to stay informed with the latest research and the best practices in my educations. Sometimes learning from different sources, like especially like Montessori has been a big thing where working with little students has been impacting their knowledge and their motor skills to just a whole lot contribution to their education that we had not seen before. I will seek out professional development opportunities and align my goals, particularly in areas related to student engagement with technology and leaderships in the diverse classrooms. Um, Going back to one of the questions that we had, was where do I go from here? I am gonna just keep learning. I'm gonna keep adapting. I'm gonna keep being the empathetic leader I am and just holding myself accountable to being more structured and being more flexible. I need to continue my leadership journey, just keep learning and keep I will probably keep going back to some of the coursework that I had here to just keep learning um how to improve myself better because as mentioned before, I can always strive to be the best, but I will never be the best because there's always going to be more knowledge and more s- tools and skills that I need to learn to adapt into the classroom or everywhere I go, even in my community. And three goals that I want to pursue this next year related to being a teacher would be establishing mm, the relationship with my student really where they can trust me that I'm here to guide them. Another one is seeing above average test results because as much as average is passing, I want to see excellency because I am here to just help my students grow as well. I want to be able to help those that really need educational help. I want to be able to give after school tutoring for those that really need that extra push. Being one myself, whenever I was growing up, I really was grateful that I had some really good teachers that helped me become um, the educator I am today. And I just want to be able to pass that forward because in this world we have to pass it forward. And those are the three goals that I have for myself as in my teaching role. And I am just a leader. I am learning, and I'm gonna keep learning and be the best person I can. Thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.